Hello, this is Sophie Lawson from sophielawson.com, and this is another colour and chat video where what I do is I colour in a page from this colouring in book which is called Anamorphia by Kirby Roseanne's. I colour in a page of that and chat about something, and the topic for this one is going to be talking about live streaming. So I'm going to talk about future video, like ideas for live streams and stuff. We've got little Bobby here with us today. Bobby's cool because he can talk, can't you, Bobby? He's funny. But what I'm going to do for this one is use the Prismacolor pencils, but Bobby has decided we're only going to pick one colour for this one, and he has decided on this one, which is called Hot Pink. So it's freshly sharpened, and I'm going to be using this little battery operated sharpener. I love this thing. What I'm going to do is start the timer, 25 minutes, and bing. So you've got 25 minutes to colour in the page. So this is the third page now. The first page was this one, where I coloured in loads of different colours. The second one, I went with, I think it was 4 main colours: pink, blue, green, and a little bit of purple, and a little bit of yellow there. And I finished that one off the camera, but I thought what was quite cool about that was leaving things white. I quite like the flowers being white, but for this one we're going to be colouring in this page, and I'm only going to use this pink pencil, so I'm not sure how this one's going to work. So I'm going to have to do some things very lightly and some things very darkly, so that things are still being distinguished, I suppose. But I'm just going to do something on this camera. Let's see what that does. That might be better. Hopefully it's not too bright. I'm still playing with the settings on this thing. Actually, I'll leave it. So the topic, the main thing is going to be this, talking about live streaming. So when I started this, or last month, on the colour and chat, I said I was going to make them be live streams in the future. Make these colour and chats live, but I've decided I'm not going to do that now, because I'm going to keep these colour and chats like this, which is 25 minutes of just colouring and talk and chatting. But I'm going to create a new video which will be like a live stream every month. Probably do it once a month. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my character design quarterly magazines, like what I've been doing on the podcast, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out exercises from the magazine. So like one of them, for instance, one of the exercises, they say about combining multiple characters or multiple animals to create your own character. So I thought we could all do that. Like, I thought it'd be quite fun. If anyone's in the chat, you can like recommend animals. We can all decide on animals, and then we can all like create these little characters. I think it'd be fun. But also, what I'm doing is I'm currently studying at SVS Learn, and on that svslearn.com, on their courses, they sometimes, you can't hardly see that one. It is pink. But what they do is, some of the courses, they have little like exercises. So for instance, one of them, get an example. Let's have a look at what one of the examples is. Well, like this one, for instance, what you have to do is you have to take an image and turn it into like a gestury image, a gesture drawing. But then there's other things like this, creating shapes with different textures, perspective, stuff like that. So I thought we could do stuff like that as well. Sort of practice perspective together, and stuff like that, or little fun little drawing exercises. I just think it'd be quite cool. And then there's loads of other things as well. So like there's this one exercise. What's it called? It's the 10-minute draw, I think it's called. And what you have 10 minutes, and it's broken into 5 chunks, I think it is. So you have to draw. Actually, it might be 8 minutes, I think. You have to draw. You look at something like, say, Sonic the Hedgehog. You look at it, and then you got to draw it. You're not allowed to look at it. No, actually, you look at it for 2 minutes. You look at it and draw it, and try to finish it. And then you do another one for 1 minute, but you're not looking at it anymore. So, and then the next one, 30 seconds. Then you do a 15-second one. Then you do the final one is like a 5-second one. So you've got 5 seconds to try and capture Sonic the Hedgehog or something. And what's really cool is, at the start, 2 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but you soon realise it's actually quite a long time, especially when you try to do the 5-second one. So what happens is, you end up, I'm not sure about this, I might have to put some other colours in a minute, I think. But at the start, when you've got 2 minutes, you can do quite a lot of detail in that 2 minutes. But then as it gets to the 30-second one, you really feel the pressure from the time. And what happens is you start thinking, what is it that makes Sonic the Hedgehog Sonic the Hedgehog? So what's really cool is you start thinking about what is important for that character, and then you're only like capturing that. So it goes on, and then by the last one, when you're only doing 5 seconds, like Sonic the Hedgehog, you might end up with just a spiky thing like that. So what happens is you then realise what makes Sonic Sonic is spiky. It's quite cool, that. It's one of my favourite little fun exercises, really. So I think that'd be quite cool. And then what would be cool is, because we're on the live stream, I have to work out how to do it, but we can like share the screens, so we can all like look at each other's Sonic the Hedgehogs and stuff. I think it'd be really fun. That's the plan. But so it's going to be mainly things like that, but it won't just be stuff like that. There'll be other things, like I might pick a book off of my bookshelf, one of my art books, or one of my art magazines, and instead of doing a click-look video, where I quickly go through it, I could go through it, and again, if you're in the chat, you could say, can you stop on that page and zoom in a bit? So like, if there was a really nice image on a page, I could go back to it and we could really study it together. And then also, because when you go through these magazines and stuff, they have the artists' websites. What we could do is, we could look at their artwork, and then afterwards go onto their website and have a look at their other work and stuff. So I think it's going to be really fun. It's going to be lots of fun, I think. That's basically the main thing. What else was there? I've got loads of ideas for it. I wrote it down somewhere. But I thought that would be better than doing the colouring chats, because it would be a lot more interactive. So like on the podcast, it's very much audio. The click looks are very much visual. But these streams will be more sort of interactive. It'll be a lot more playful and that. But like, if you've got any ideas and stuff, it'd be really cool. Like, put them in the comments or something, because you can take it anywhere really. You can even go into stuff like just sort of ask questions and stuff. So like, maybe talk about lucid dreaming, and we could all share experiences. It's kind of like the world's your oyster with this little thing. I quite like that. White and pink. This is a lot harder to do than what I thought, because you got to have things, different colours next to each other. But at some point, they're all going to be the same. It's a bit weird. I love that sound. Sound of colour pencils. You've got to start blending. See, that light on dark, but it's also light on dark there. So it's kind of like you're blending. It's quite cool. I'm going to make this really dark, this bit. Dun, 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 dun. That's cool. It is the most satisfying bit. Look at that, all the little... That's quite fun, isn't it? I really want to colour that in. I'm going to colour that in. I'm going to make that a mix of pinks. I'm going to make that dark. Little claws. Make the little claws dark. Imagine if there's a bird like this, but the side of a house. It'd be quite amazing. That's what dinosaurs would have been like. I'd love to know what it was like to see dinosaurs. Because they're so big, it's almost, I think, impossible to... You can't, I don't think a human can really appreciate how big a dinosaur must be. What they should do is, I wonder if they've done this. They should create a dinosaur. They should create a dinosaur. I'm going to leave it like that, I think. No. They should create a full life-size dinosaur and then let it out on the streets. Imagine that. It'd be funny. That'll keep people indoors on this little lockdown. Ooh, we've gone into the lockdown. That's quite nice. 2015 that was made in, look. Is that a jellyfish? Some sort of jellyfish. 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 We like jellyfish. So, at the moment, England is in lockdown. But I work in the supermarket, so I'm still going to work, and one of my jobs I walk, it takes me about 45 minutes to walk to work, and I have to walk right along the front of the little river. There's a river, so I'm walking right along this river, and I'm pretty much the only one out at the moment. You get the odd person running, people on their bikes, and you get the odd car going by, but it is like a deserted wasteland at the moment. So, when was it? A couple of days ago, I was walking along this river. Well, yesterday I was walking along and a little robin. So the robin is my spirit animal. I came round the corner, this little robin, it was sat on the pavement right in front of me, eating a worm, and it felt really strange because robins don't normally sit on the path like that. But imagine what's happened is, because there's so few people walking around, all the animals are probably coming out to play now. So I imagine the animals are loving this. They're getting their earth back. It feels like the animals are gonna take back control of the earth, which maybe that's a good thing. But what I noticed was, it was amazing. The other day, I sat by the water, and I sat down, and this little mouse ran right across my feet, because I was sat on the bank. So the river's here, and I was sat on the bank. My legs were dangling over the edge of the bank, and a little mouse ran right across the beach. It's like a little beach made of stones. This little mouse ran across, and I thought, oh, that's nice. And then I looked up, and there was these 3 quite big birds I don't know what they were. They're not, I don't know what they were. They're not regular birds though, but they were flying in unison like this, in a little formation, and they flew like this. So I'm sat here, they flew like that, and they flew right around like that, and they flew right over my head. It was amazing, and as they came over I said hello, because I thought it was quite cool, and I thought to myself, that's amazing, we've had a little mouse, now we've got these little birds, and then the next thing I know, 2 little ducks, because the water was so calm and peaceful, 2 little ducks just come along, bobbing along like this, right in front of me. They bobbed right off like that, and again I thought, this is unbelievable. It felt like the animals were sort of talking to me, as if they were communicating. This was the night that England got put into a lockdown, so that was the day. At that point we were still allowed to go out, but it felt a bit like those animals knew what was coming or something. It was very weird. So then I got up because I had to go to work, and I started walking to work, and then as I was walking along, the beach, it goes up the bank, so there's a bit where the bank blends into the beach, and as I'm walking along, there must have been about 7 or 8 little ducks, like a family of ducks, just started walking off the beach, and again they stood right in front of me. So I stopped because I didn't want to scare them, and what I did was I walked around them like that, but there's a bunch of little ducks just sat there, and again I was thinking, what is going on here? I've never seen so many animals all coming together like that. So then I got off the beach, off the grass, back onto the main road, and I'm walking along, and another little mouse scurried along like that. So I've seen one mouse. I've been walking to and from work for 1.5 years, and I've only ever seen one little mouse, and that was about 1 o'clock in the morning. But this was, what time was this? It was about 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and I saw another little mouse. So then I thought to myself, there's something going on here, because what I've noticed is what the universe does, and I've noticed this, it will do something unusual as like a sign, but then what happens is it does that as a sign, and you sort of notice it and you think, oh, that's interesting, but then you'll sort of just think, oh, that was just interesting, but then what it will do is it will do something a little bit later on, it will do something which links in with that, and then what it does is it sort of makes the 2 events become one. So that little mouse that was on it, the first mouse, it ran down there, and that was quite cool. The second mouse, when that one ran along, it made the first mouse even cooler, and then the first mouse made the second mouse even cooler. So it's kind of, I love how that sort of shows how it's weird, it's almost like future and the past is linked together somehow. I like that, but I've noticed the universe does that a lot. It's almost if it wants you to pay attention, it will do stuff like that, and it could be anything. It could be random things, like for instance, you might be on your computer doing something, and you'll see something which is a little bit weird, like, I don't know, you'll see something a bit weird, but it's just a bit weird, but then you'll see something later on just exactly the same as that, and then all of a sudden it's not just a bit weird, it's got like a meaning. I've noticed that so many times. I think it's cool. It definitely feels to me like the universe is alive, and I feel like what we're inside of right now, with all of this lockdown and stuff, it feels to me, what it feels like to me is the Earth is about to evolve, and I think it's going to go in one of 2 directions. It's either going to go, it might even be that the timelines are going to split off, and you're going to have one timeline go into a negative, where what would happen is, I think everyone would be locked in their houses, you wouldn't be allowed out, and maybe even like your shopping would get delivered by drones or something. And so human contact would be eradicated. It would almost be like life would become like that, what's it called, 1984. It would be like a prison. Life would become like a prison. Could quite easily go in that direction, I think. But I think it also could go in the other way, where what this does is it kind of destroys the system at the moment. Because I think most of us know the way the earth is set up at the moment, like society and stuff, is broken. It's definitely broken. And I do wonder whether what's happened is, because I've noticed over the past year especially, it feels like a lot more people are waking up and realising what's going on, but you sort of feel a bit helpless because the system is such a controlling thing. It feels a little bit like, well, we're sort of inside of it, so we can't do anything. So I'm wondering what's happening is, this is the earth. It's going to basically destroy the system, and what will happen is it'll be like a reset. So we'll get control back of the planet, and then hopefully we can be at peace with it, like the animals. I do think there is a future where humans and the earth exist in complete peace, and everyone is allowed to do whatever they want, and nobody would do anything horrible, because everybody would know that they can do whatever they want. So if you can do whatever you want, you wouldn't be horrible. It's that like reverse, it's this weird paradox thing. It's that thing where, say you've got a child and you're so scared of them going out or something, what you do is you lock them away, stop them going out. But what that does is, it actually makes them go out. So in the end, you end up losing them because you grip hold of them so tightly that you actually squeeze them out of your life. Whereas if you let them do whatever they want, they would probably stay, because they would know that if they wanted to go, they could. But if you're squeezing them like that, they're going to be like, well, the first chance I have to get out of here, I'm gone. So I wonder whether it's something like that's happening. We're going to end up being able to get control back. I hope so. It'd be really nice. I definitely can tell that we're in the middle of something quite big here, and it is an opportunity, I think, to evolve. But it's like everything. I've been saying this for years. Change is a really messy process, and it's really uncomfortable, and I think that's what we're in now. We're in the middle of the change, so it's going to get uncomfortable. And something my Reiki healer said, I think it was the first or second session, she did a Reiki healing on me, and she said it will get worse, or she said it might get worse before it gets better. And for about a month it was so bad that I thought to myself, I was thinking, I don't know whether I should have done this Reiki because it's making me worse. But then what happened was, you got through that initial struggle, and then it just became amazing. And then that one experience of it getting worse before it gets better, I've sort of like held on to that. And so whenever life gets a bit hard now, you sort of know, firstly you know it'll pass, but you also, to me, I look at that and I'm like, well, I must be in the middle of some big change here. So I just feel like it's happening on a global scale. It's definitely what we needed. It's going to be very interesting to see where the world is at in about I would say 2 years' time. It's going to be very interesting. Because what starts to happen to me, I start thinking, these aliens, these grey aliens, is it possible that they've come from the future, and the reason they're grey like that, what if those grey suits that they're wearing is kind of like a sort of, it's like a, what do you call it, a decontamination suit. In other words, the world gets so contaminated that humans have to go into these like grey suits. That'd be weird. So what they're doing is they're coming back in time, trying to stop the virus. But what ends up happening is, this would be quite funny in a weird way, the ironic twist is that they are the ones that brought the virus back. So by them coming back in time, trying to stop the virus, they actually ended up bringing it back. So you could say, well, if they never came back if they had never come back to try and stop the virus, there would never have been a virus. But because there was a virus, they was always going to come back. And that's 25 minutes. And we got quite a lot done today. Quite a lot done. Hopefully you can see it. It's very weird. I don't know if, I'm not sure if I like it or not. I think that's my favourite one. That's too many colours. I think that is a nice balance of colours. And I think this one's not got enough colours. It's quite interesting. I'm going to play with it a bit more. And then I'll come back next month, which will be colour and chat number 4 at the end of April. Da, da, da. So I'm going to say stay safe and stay positive, because this is going to be awesome, I think, in the end. Little Bobby's eating his pencils.